be what we are gonna have to look out for LPE as we head into it. Now, let's find out. Let's find out what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, who will make smart choices in the draft? Very good question there, Rockhard. Catch it next, brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free to game, great with Smart. Free games for all. LPE are going to be taking out Selena again, and XP. Once again, they're going to be taking out Diggy. So far, still the same bands that we have here. Diggy has been a rising tank pick. I mean, I wouldn't call it a tank because the kind of lineups we see are tankless. But pseudo tank is the best way to really put heroes such as Diggy in this quote unquote first strike meta where you're gonna get just someone in the front line to bait all the skills out to make sure that in a fight they don't have the abilities anymore.
Yeah, and again, they are. This is also because of a lot of changes to some of our heroes, making heroes such as the Terizla. Sometimes, some people might be scared of that pick to come out soon because of the big changes to that hero as well.
Yeah.
Although he was a little bit softened up compared to before. Now, again, AoE is not really the biggest. The AoE, if you notice, there's not much AoE crowd control here anymore that we're seeing from the picks. Mostly single target, and it's working well for us so far, especially since yesterday. But what we're looking for here is, again, the Paquito. Will the Paquito be first picked again? Because LPE is also a team that plays it. BMO really likes it kind of fits BMO's playstyle. Same with Next Play, because Yaoi also plays it pretty well.
But I don't think we will.
I don't think we will. There you go.
LPE,
Right away.
surprisingly enough,
They
banned
know.
out two heroes that are BMO picks.
BMO, exactly. BMO
yeah,
picks.
BMO likes the Cho, BMO likes the Paquito. They might first pick the Sylvana here just so that BMO will still have one of his main picks to go for. We know one of his top picks are the Sylvana, the Cho, and the Jawhead. Sylvana just makes sense as the first pick, but of course LPE says Benedetta's open, we're going to take it.
Yeah, Vendetta has been working very well for that last game. It gave a lot of freedom for the rest of the NXP members to really capitalize on the time that you need to chase on the Vendetta. Chasing a Vendetta takes time. It's really difficult, and H2O capitalized on that with that Roger. So it can happen here for LPE as well, and that's also a reason why yesterday it was also very high on the ban priorities.
Yeah. And now the Roger, you mentioned it for a second there, gets picked up again here by
There you go.
NXP. Might end up being the same place that we're going to see. Run and gun, mobility, early game burst damage. LPE, let's see if they're going to try to balance out their composition a bit more. Again, your suggestion, don't go for that all the eggs in one basket. Try to spread out the priority a little bit more. Maybe LPE are going to look into having at least two main damage dealers who can really dish it out and not just put everything onto Aspect.
Yeah, and it's really funny as well because this is pretty similar to what Next Play had run. Now, by the way, if you guys are missing out, again, a few members are going to be isolated here. And of course,
LPE?
for LPE,
Yeah.
they do have their own referees and monitoring behind them. So
Yeah, because of course we know with what's going on, due to very stringent safety protocols set forth by our league, we have a few players from LPE isolated right now, but that's all just because we're just trying to be safe here.
yeah, and don't worry, they are on video call, so
Yeah, they're on
it's
video
them.
call.
That's them.
Yeah, the referees
No doubt
are
about it.
watching. Yeah, the referees
Ever
have
since
eyes.
the game started, obviously.
Yeah.
So Sylvana is still something that's still in the playbook of LPE, and
nice.
Jake the Dog finally is something where he is more familiar with. I think this is one of the heroes that I've seen Jake the Dog actually excel in, and I don't know, maybe Aspect. He might be also the one to pick it up, and that's also a great thing about LPE. They got some room to flex.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, this is a flex Isan Shin pick. Most people will say, oh, that's going to go into the jungle, but there have been times or teams that have the right player on the gold lane or the non-turtle lane to pick that up. So great observation there. Now, NXP picked up the Eve. And it seems like this is a little bit counterintuitive to what they want to go for. I mean, their first two picks were mobile, burst, pin down, just like what they were like in the first one. But now they pick up Eve, who's a very stationary hero.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Do you think is there something here that I'm not seeing?
Now, when you pick up an Eve, that is actually indication that you are going for a something that is a big crowd control, AoE crowd control, which I mentioned before the draft. That's it is counterintuitive to what NXP's playstyle is, but this is maybe that's also part of the plan. NXP might they don't want to be known for just one thing.
Yeah.
They want it to be spread out. They want the enemy to be confused, and it can work.
Yeah.
I like that NXP's trying to branch out finally. Good for them. But we'll have to see if it pans out because right now it's so vulnerable to a Yi Sun-Shin. It's vulnerable to Benedetta as well as this Sylvana.
Yeah, I'm very worried for
Very
this Eve here.
worried.
Very strong first 3 picks here by LP Eve. Farsa, Lo Yi get banned out. 1-1 gets banned out here. So now next play, we're in that position again where it's going to be who's going to get which mage. Next play here, I mean, they did already pick up the Eve. They already have the Alice, so now they're looking for a hero here for Renege.
Give it a big tank, man. Give it a big tank.
They also need a big tank.
They gotta get it for Yaoi because right now I feel like it's gonna be critical to pick it up because you might get it might get swiped here by LPE. So okay, this is not the biggest tank that I'm thinking of, but still AoE crowd control. So it's in this interest.
Yeah.
It's also a great counter pick because you don't want a Yu Zhong flying into an Eve.
Yeah.
You don't want that to go to the enemy, so you pick it up instead.
A good call there by NXP, but then it really is a big question as to what they're going to go for. For their last pick, they might actually end up going for a traditional setup tank. A little bit back to basics. Nothing wrong with that, though, as LPE really hovering over their picks here. It's going to be up to them if they're going to go for the Eudora or the Kagura. They could get... If they get another strong, beefy frontliner here, then it is going to be a sign that they're going to go for another... Just try to funnel a little bit more or almost all of our resources onto Aspect. Okay. Oh!
They are not lacking in mages anymore. They got some good stuff, and again, Chang'e is one of those heroes that actually can deal with the Eve pretty well from a very safe distance. The NXP removed the Farsa, that's great, but they can't remove them all.
Great picks here.
Great picks.
The Harith and the Chang'e come as a surprise, but then it gives the poke again, or adds to the poke that they already have here for LPE. Meanwhile, NXP, I think they're really going to take their sweet time here for their last pick. What do you think they're going to go for here?
Something that can kind of control the gold lanes better, or sorry, the XP lanes even better. They already have the Yu Zhong for that. Mid lane, rather. I'm actually surprised about this. There you go. Oh!
Okay.
That's isn't it? I said one big AOE, but they went for two.
Yeah, so they did go for the traditional
AOE playmaking tank. So kudos to that, and very telegraphed as well. I would have predicted this if I was LPE. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's now we've flipped the script. Now LPE are playing a lineup that's a little bit more mobile, something a little bit more scrappy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, NXP are going to be looking for that good, not necessarily picture perfect. It wouldn't be hard to set up fights here for this lineup because now the Eve pick makes a lot of sense because that Eve pick we know you don't really go for an Eve for the damage because it's not a Farsa. What you go for are the slows.
The slow of real world manipulation actually is something that's very deadly on the team fight. It will allow this Yu Zhong to really prosper as well. So let's load up into the game, and we'll see what happens here as we head into Game 2 for LPE versus NXP.
Lands, Sea, all eyes are on you because you are going to be one of the key heroes here for your team. If you can get the slows right on time, as long as you can get that Ice Queen wand as quickly as you can, LP are gonna have a hard time dancing around all the possible setups that NXP will have. They have the Blood Ode from the Alice, they have the Implosion from the Tigreal. They have to be really careful here of those slows coming out from the Eve.
There you go, this is what you're talking about, man. Great dive in H2O. Whoa, this guy's mad! But gives the kill over to Lancy instead. It's a trade, but I think it's kind of a step in the right direction here for LPE, I think.
Yeah.
Just answer.
Yeah.
No need to do anything crazy.
Exactly, like he already got taken out. It's actually a kill that sort of like negates itself, but then you get a little bit of gold because of the first blood gold going on over to the NXP.
Yeah.
The first blood got registered to NXP before LPE, so instead of it becoming a bad trade, it still relatively worked out for the side of NXP. Still a
Yeah.
slow start, not a lot of developments just yet, but any other observations about the lineups that we have here?
I just want to say H2O is a little mad though. I feel like there's just so much that could have been avoided there. H2O would have had a lot of farm time afterwards. So I don't know. I feel like there should be more that they could not. They didn't need to tower dive that hard.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for something else that could. But otherwise, we are still on control here. H2O with Lancey. What a great combo, great synergy between these two players so far.
And now the turtle finally spawns. Lancey already level 4 here, so is Arb. So we'll have the mage ultimates up for the two teams if they want it. LPE are nearby for this turtle contest if they're gonna go for it. BMO and Aspect versus Yaoi and H2O. Who's gonna win this 2 versus 2 tag team match? But no surprise, here comes James
Here
and the
he is.
dragon with a black dragon form, making that the green dragon form. Look at that, the knockup and the damage onto BMO. He gets taken out, and LPE don't get the first turtle as that goes to NXP. They give away another kill to NXP as well. So similar start to game number 1.
Yeah, a big shame as well that there was not much LP could do at that point. NXP basically multitasked it. You guys go for a fight, we'll go for a turtle, and they get rewards, no punishment at all for LPE, which is super surprising. I feel like they have a plan, but they're not really executing here.
Yeah, good call there by Yaoi too. Instead of a lot of tanks, oh, I wouldn't say a lot of tanks, but tanks would sometimes instinctually go, okay, since James is already going forward, I'm gonna stay here with H2O to protect him just in case the Benedetta rotates in. But no, Yaoi said, you know what, that looks like a sure kill, and then the knock up there with the Sacred Hammer or with the second skill really helped secure that for NXP. So I like that slight adjustment that Yaoi did.
Yeah, and again, Yaoi is also a very well improved player from the previous season. Some people would criticize his gameplay if he's not on Kufra. If he's on Kufra, great. If he's not, usually he gets a lot of flack. This time around, he is playing very well on a variety of heroes, surprisingly.
Renjay, see, I think he got a bit of a whiff that there might be a rotation onto him, but there is definitely a rotation on the top side. H2O, not this time again. He won't get taken out by the turret. Decides to get out. Renjay taking a lot of damage from JTD and Arvs. Arvs with the meteor shower. Last second flicker. Able to get out of that. Yaoi, though, is going to spot out the Chango and secures the kill thanks to Eve with a real-world manipulation from Lance C.
Picture perfect as it can get there. Yaoi basically enabled Lancey to get everything he wanted from that trade. Now James as well, go for dive on Aspect. Could be bad here.
Oh wow, great entry there by Bebo with the interception using the Cometic Lance, securing the stun there. That is still going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Oh wait, no, it was Aspect that went down the bottom lane. But yeah, good call there by Bebo to help out his teammate there in the mid. But this looks like it could be another turtle for NXP.
Bimo doesn't know.
Yeah, Bimo doesn't know. Arbs is there though for the assist. That's going to be the turtle going over to H2O and a turtle to NXP and another kill for NXP as Bimo goes down. Yeah, we could be up next though, but he's trying to get away from that Chang. Meanwhile, H2O so close yet so far for LPE to secure a kill onto the carry, but they say, you know what? At least we get to secure a kill on their tank, Yaoi.
Again, that is one for the books here. Turret will go down here in the mid lane for sure. Not much that NXP can do against that. They already used up a lot of their skills, and H2O is quite low. So overall, I feel like NXP, they are finding the groove, but at the same time, LPE, they're a lot better compared to Game 1 here at this point.
Yeah, exactly. In this situation, the LPE are fighting back a little bit more. You see them not relying too much on the fact that they have a late game lineup idea. And one thing that we have to give focus here is for Lancey. Hot start, already 3-0-2.